A close call for two teens in British Columbia who were able to scramble out of their car just moments before it was hit by a train. The car got stuck on the tracks near Mission yesterday afternoon after it ran into a train signal pole. Luckily, the 18-year-old driver and her passenger got out just in the nick of time, and neither was hurt. Here's what else is making news tonight. A train derails in southwest Calgary.
There's no obvious signs of any spill and no imminent hazard.
A road closure now in place while crews work to remove 13 cars from a pond. Plus, Alberta opens the doors to private online gambling operators.
It's worth billions of dollars.
The province puts guardrails in place, but critics say they're easily avoided. And a CTV Calgary exclusive one-on-one with Prime Minister Mark Carney.
Alberta, build not break. Lead, not lead.
The PM on national unity, pipelines, and Alberta at the center of it all.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. A major train derailment in our city this morning has now shut down local traffic. The Transportation Safety Board has also been called in to investigate after more than a dozen rail cars ended up in a large body of water. Tyson Fedor is at the derailment site tonight, and Tyson, cleanup efforts are going to take some time down there.
They most certainly will, Tara. This is the Pritis Slough behind me. You can see it and access it from McLeod Trail and Stony Trail here in the southwest. And where this derailment actually took place, it's becoming a tricky spot for investigators to get in and actually start that cleanup work. 13 rail cars derailed this morning and ended up in the slough behind me. And now investigators are here on the ground trying to determine exactly what had happened. This Canadian Pacific Kansas City train was headed south of Calgary when it derailed before reaching city limits.
There was a screech.
13 rail cars carrying lumber, plywood, argon and propane ended up in the wetlands along Sheriff King Street southwest around 7:30 Monday morning. It's located just south of Stony Trail and west of McLeod Trail.
There's no obvious signs of any spill and no imminent hazard, so we do have a Calgary Fire Department hazardous materials team on scene.
Heavy machinery began to remove the abandoned rail cars while a containment boom was set up in the water. As for the cause, that is still under investigation by the Transportation Safety Board and CPKC officials.
As far as we can tell, all the containers are holding up and nothing has spilled. There are some construction and building materials, so that'd be like wood products, that did fall off the train and are in the water, but they don't pose any particular hazard.
Nearby residents say they were unsure what had happened.
Well, I went over to Tim's this morning and I saw the train stop there. And we just went over to check on our neighbor's cats, and it's still there, so we went and looked it up, and it said that there was some cars that were in the pond there.
We hear the train all the time. I mean, it's always going, but I was kind of wondering why it was at a standstill.
The company says no crew members were injured. The city says that the provincial wetlands receive stormwater and help slow sediments and remove other pollutants before the water reaches the Bow River.
It's natural wetlands. It's always there. The city is looking at a lot of development around that area. The red line is going to be extended along there too with another maintenance shed, homes, housing, amenities, parklands. So it's a very nice wetlands that we need to preserve and enhance.
City staff say water quality testing of the wetland is being conducted with no concerns for significant impact. Now, as for road closures in the area and community of Silverado, Calgary Police saying earlier this afternoon that in both directions, Sheriff King Street will be closed for 36 hours, so until at least tomorrow evening between the streets of Silverton Way, Silverado Way, and Silverado Boulevard in the southwest. Cleanup will probably take several days as well, and I'll give you a sense of exactly what that cleanup looks like at this stage. Heavy machinery has come in behind us as they start to move some of the items that were involved and those tankers as well. There is a containment boom on the water as we speak as well, that being put in just in the last hour and a half or so. So Tara, I can tell you at this point, this cleanup effort is well underway and it's going to continue here over the next several hours at least.
Okay, Tyson Fedor on location. Tyson, thank you for that. A Calgary family is grieving tonight after their 7-year-old autistic daughter drowned in a stormwater pond in the southeast community of Legacy Sunday. The family of Driana Matamona says the nonverbal girl wandered away from the family home Sunday afternoon. Relatives say only a short time had passed before they realized that she was missing. The family searched the area outside the home and found some clothing by a pond just minutes away. We're told Driana's father jumped into the water and pulled her body to shore. He and others initiated life-saving measures until paramedics took over, but the little girl did not survive. A small memorial has been set up near the pond, and a GoFundMe page has been set up to help Driana's family. A motorcyclist is in serious condition after a collision with a vehicle today. It happened at the intersection of 47th Street and 85th Street Northwest at about 4 this afternoon. Police say the driver of the vehicle remained at the scene and was not injured. 85th Street is closed northbound and southbound between 46th and 48th Avenues. A woman was rushed to hospital after a shooting in the East Village. First responders were called to Riverfront Avenue and 3rd Street Southeast just before 5 o'clock this morning. Paramedics located the patient and transported her to Foothills Hospital in serious but non-life-threatening condition. Calgary police are investigating and are expected to release more details. A Calgary plumbing company has pleaded guilty to one charge of failing to protect a worker. Mr. Mike's Plumbing was ordered to pay $330,000 in the 2023 trench death of 27-year-old apprentice Liam Johnston. As Kevin Green explains, 2/3 of that fine will go to a workplace safety campaign targeting young workers.
Liam Johnson died when this trench collapsed on him June 8, 2023. It took 12 hours and 25 dump truck loads of soil had to be removed before his body was recovered. His employer, Mr. Mike's Plumbing, pleaded guilty to one charge of failing to protect a worker's safety. Monday, court heard victim impact statements from Johnson's family.
I lost my imagined future. I lost the person that I was before that day. I lost a love that was certain and that was the greatest source of happiness in my life.
Appearing in court through closed-circuit television, Johnson's mother, Kim Iveson, said, "What has been lost is not just who Liam was, but everything he was going to be. I don't just grieve the past, I grieve the entire future that was taken away from us." His stepfather added, "There isn't a day that goes by that we don't feel his absence. The silence he's left behind is something we carry with us every single day." Mr. Mikes was originally charged with 11 counts under the Occupational Safety Act, but the judge agreed to a single guilty plea and a $330,000 fine.
The entire thing has been incredibly frustrating and disheartening. I think that overall, as a family, we're deeply unhappy with this outcome.
Mr. Mike's owner, Mike Brock, also read a statement accepting responsibility, telling court, "We failed as a company to provide the supervision and verification required to ensure those critical safety measures were followed before entry occurred. Our company has accepted responsibility for that failure, and I'm deeply sorry for the loss we caused." Through what's known as a creative sentencing order, $215,000 of the fine will go to the Injury Prevention Center to fund a public awareness campaign.
We're going to utilize social media, print, and video to actually launch a campaign that causes people to not only think and when they see it and recognize it, but also to pause and know how to speak it in terms of what hazard is going on.
That campaign is expected to start production this fall and run through into 2027. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
And this is the first time the Injury Prevention Center at the University of Alberta has received funding through a creative sentencing order. It is game on for Alberta. The new iGaming legislation takes effect today. The province and new online operators call it an important step forward. But some critics say those rules don't go far enough. Moses Woldu explains.
You've likely encountered ads driving through Calgary, at a bus stop or in a mall in recent weeks, all leading up to Monday's announcement to allow Albertans to legally access 22 sports betting and casino companies beyond the government-run Play Alberta online gambling site.
Today, Albertans have a responsible, legal alternative where operators are held to high standards of conduct.
Play Alberta has over 434,000 registered player accounts. According to the government, hundreds of thousands more used offshore sites, which gave them no financial protection if a company shuts down and cut the province out of any financial benefit. Now, all that changes.
It's worth billions of dollars, and it's hard not to be cynical and think that the reason why the government is doing it is because they have billions of dollars in deficit. But I think part of it, too, is recognizing that there is value in making sure that consumers are protected.
The province is setting safeguards that include spending, betting, and time limits. There's also an exclusion program so people can ban themselves, as well as restrictions on advertising to minors and vulnerable Albertans.
From the very beginning, our focus has been clear. Protect Albertans, especially young people.
The new rules also state the use of athletes to promote betting sites are prohibited, unless it's marketed as player safety, such as BetMGM's use of Connor McDavid. However, one expert says some protections for minors are easy to get around.
Youth are actually using their parents' accounts, or they're using other people's driver's licenses so that they can create their own account. The age gating is not sufficient.
And the same message is being echoed by an addiction psychologist.
I think the red flags will continue if there's not additional efforts put towards prevention and minimization of use.
The province will collect 20% of each company's revenue and expects to bring in $76 million in its first year. Of that, it will set aside 2% for First Nations and another 1% for social responsibility programs.
And Moses joins us now. Moses, Ontario did this first, so what did Alberta learn from their experience?
Well, Tara, it started with implementing those safeguards from the jump, something that Ontario had to play catch up with. Alberta doesn't have that problem with the 22 registered companies so far. But a concern that we've heard, including from that story with the one gambling researcher and her expertise, and that is youth are still affected. And if you look at the numbers from Ontario, when they've had their first rollout back in 2022, and this is from a study from the Canadian Medical Association Journal, and they showed Ontario males from age 15 to 24 saw a 300% rise in gambling helpline contacts, and that's after the market expanded. So this is going to be an ongoing scenario, Tara.
Huge numbers. Okay, Moses, thank you.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
Another Calgary Stampede is in the books, and this year continued a 3-year trend of strong attendance. As the Stampede celebrates, so too are some business owners who say that 10-day festival is key for their survival. Here's Tommy Osborne.
The Midway is hitting the highway as the Calgary Stampede says it had another successful year that saw more than 1.4 million visitors.
During the 10 days of the Calgary Stampede alone, the Calgary Stampede generated $389 million of economic impact for the province of Alberta, and we would expect this year's number would be very much similar to that.
That means from large corporations to small vendors, Stampede revenue is key.
This is my income for the year and another few shows, but this is one of the busiest, best shows.
The new executive director of the Calgary Downtown Association says she wants to keep the core hospitable since it's an entry point for many visitors, especially during Stampede.
Maybe this is where they stay or where they head. So we want the downtown to really be that best foot forward.
Cavernous opened in early 2025, and co-owner John King welcomed the additional foot traffic downtown and says business quadrupled during the Stampede.
It's all about word of mouth. Our business is built on both memberships, so we have regular members in here who bring in their friends, colleagues, family. But it's also important for us to have a walk-in crowd because people have never seen our concepts.
Despite the vibes and economic benefits, animal rights groups once again raised concerns about the rodeo and chuckwagon events. The Calgary Humane Society is investigating after a saddle bronc horse was smacked and pulled at in the chute. Animal Justice says it filed 2 more complaints about rough handling of animals in the chutes. Another horse was badly injured when 2 chuckwagons collided.
An initial exam revealed no fractures, but the injury is considered serious.
The horse was transferred via ambulance to a veterinary clinic, but its condition is unclear. Tommy Osborne, CTV News, Calgary.
And Calgary police say it was a safer Stampede too, even with more than 1,000+ calls to service. As Stampede tents come down, the city says they've received noise complaints at a number of festival sites throughout the city. As of 11 a.m. Sunday, the city received 275 noise complaints relating to Stampede events and festival activities. Of those complaints, 165 were directed at Cowboys Music Festival. Right before the Stampede started, the city and the festival's owners came to an agreement, reducing bass levels and lowering overnight sound. The area councillor says one other change made a difference too.
The move to having the events capped at midnight was very much appreciated by community members in the West End who are able to get to sleep, an hour and a half earlier than they would have otherwise. That move was a good move to sort of assuage some of the concerns that community have.
The city will provide a full summary of the noise complaints, including more context behind them, once it finishes reviewing the data. Well, let's check in with Gina now. The Stampede might be gone, but that fine Stampede weather remains.
Yeah, it was a beautiful stretch of weather for the Stampede. Hot for sure, but not meeting the criteria for heat warnings. And we had some nice breezes throughout the evening hours, too. That's what we're dealing with right now. Southeasterly winds coming in this evening at around 20 to 40 kilometers an hour. 25 right now, but still the potential to get to our forecast high of 27 degrees over the next few hours or so. Pretty quiet looking radar satellite for you. We have this line of clouds here, which is really the dividing area in your upper atmosphere between two systems that we'll talk about more throughout the hour here. But for tonight, we're going to calm down to a low of 13 degrees, clear conditions to start the morning there, and then up to 26 degrees for tomorrow, Tara.
Thank you, Gina. Albertans are paying more than many other Canadians for groceries, but they aren't necessarily paying for it all at once. We'll explain the technique many are using to soften the blow. And the Edmonton area was hammered by storms this weekend, including some central Alberta tornadoes. That's next. It has been hard not to notice the impact of high grocery prices. Here in Alberta, we might be feeling it the hardest among several provinces. That's according to one financial technology company, which analyzed grocery spending among its users. Tyler Barrow explains.
Albertans are hurting from grocery costs, and possibly the most in the country. According to fintech company Coho's Grocery Gap report, which analyzed grocery spending trends among 173,000 users, including more than 28,000 Albertans, found people here spend over $50 on each grocery purchase, 18% higher than those in Ontario and 12% higher than British Columbians. Grocery shoppers here feel the pinch.
I can budget and I can get coupons and I can wait for the savings, and at this point it's tough to even do that.
It really does make you look at the prices. It really does make you make different choices.
I don't see why the cost would be higher here in Alberta.
The food bank helps over 920 families each day between its two locations. It attributes Albertans' high food costs to produce development happening in BC and Ontario, where they have longer growing seasons.
So unfortunately, we're adding that fuel surcharge to our groceries because we're having to bring it in from other places.
Demand for the food bank services continues to rise while donations drop. Typically, they have over 4 weeks of inventory. Now, it's just over 2 weeks. Here at Bethany Chapel, people try to do their part, providing hampers for 22 registered families per month. It also provides grade school kids with customized lunches.
I deal with a lot of low-income families that just can't make ends meet.
Coho's report also notes more people are using the Pay Later feature for grocery purchases. The service allows users to pay for goods over a longer time frame. Use has grown year over year by 109%.
We're seeing grocery spend climb. It's, people are really using it to manage everyday essentials.
Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
According to Coho's report, the average grocery spending per user increased approximately 5% year over year. People in Edmonton are cleaning up after a series of intense weekend storms rolled through. The Insurance Bureau of Canada says there has been hundreds of claims for water, hail, and wind damage. Some people say water came shooting out of the toilets, sinks, and drains like geysers. The Insurance Bureau of Canada says people have the choice of paying out of pocket or relying on their insurance company. Central Alberta has seen multiple tornadoes tear through campgrounds and rural areas in the last week. CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti looks at whether they're becoming more common.
The ferocity of a tornado is something to behold, a thrill Jason Whiting wanted to experience in person over the weekend.
Tornadoes such a phenomenon. You don't see them very often. Never know what you might find, so I headed out and went up the road to see what I could find.
He found this tornado by Tullabee Lake on Saturday and captured the whirling moment.
Seeing it from that perspective was kind of pretty unique and really lucky to see that.
As we get deeper into the summer, we're also right in the middle of tornado season in Alberta.
The season is June, July, August for the most part in the prairies, with a peak in July. So tornadoes are kind of a regular occurrence.
The Northern Tornado Project says we're seeing more activity than usual. Alberta has seen 24 tornadoes so far this year, blowing away the totals for the last 7 years. One of the biggest factors is the heavy rain we've been seeing since June.
The weather patterns seem to be stuck in place, and we keep getting the storms developing again and again over various parts of the prairies.
If you find yourself at risk of a tornado, it's advised to find stable, solid cover, like a basement, to stay safe. Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
This is CTV News, Calgary.
Let's bring Gina back in for our 5-day forecast. We're hot, but kind of everybody is hot right now.
Yeah, really cooking too, the more east you go in the country right now. And that's producing a setup where thunderstorms can take place as well. We're pretty calm here, relatively speaking. That's going to be our story for the next couple of days here. Temperatures are going to be trending after today in the mid-20s for much of the week. I mean, we're sitting at 25 right now, aiming for a high of 27 over the next few hours here. But tomorrow, Wednesday, those temperatures are going to be closer to around 25, 26, but it's very warm right now. Milk River at 30 degrees, 31 if you're joining us in Medicine Hat, and 29 this hour in Lethbridge. A little cooler in the central part of the province, more seasonal in that area. 23 in Edmonton for right now, 22 in Red Deer, and Golden is at 28 currently. So there is a lot of warm air above Western Canada right now, but the real hot air mass is to the east of us here, impacting areas like Ontario and Manitoba and the Great Lakes region stateside. Tomorrow we're aiming for a high of 26 here in Calgary. So like I mentioned, trending in the mid-20s for the next couple of days. We are watches and warnings free for Western Canada right now. But when we look over and see what's going on in the eastern prairies and into Ontario, there's a lot happening with that high pressure system over that part of the country. So we got heat warnings in both the orange and yellow level criteria. We have air quality advisories with all that heat and severe thunderstorm watches as well. And of course, with all that heat, we're seeing temperatures soaring. 39 degrees for the high in Thunder Bay for today, and we have 33 in Toronto. This is not factoring in the humidity as well, which obviously makes it feel substantially warmer. There's a look at the upper air pattern. We're going to talk more about this in our next weather hit, but I did want to show you that heat dome setup over parts of the northeast, Midwest states right now and veering into parts of Canada. We're just on the outskirts of it, so we're not anticipating that high pressure system to move our way. In fact, we could see a little bit of instability by midweek here as some clouds start to move in, and that could result in some showers by Wednesday for us, and then maybe some thunderstorms as we get into Friday. Medicine Hat could see some storms a little earlier by Wednesday there, but for us, we're just aiming for about a 40% chance of showers by the time Wednesday comes around. Beautiful looking Thursday with 27 degrees, and then we pick up into the high 20s as the weekend comes around. That's a look at your Action Furnace 5-day forecast.
Thank you, Gina. Prime Minister Mark Carney was in Calgary this weekend. We caught up with him at the Calgary Stampede for an exclusive chat as the province prepares for a fall referendum that could pave the way for a vote on separation. And some incredible video from Wyoming's Yellowstone National Park. A man is charged and thrown by a bison. The province has announced it signed an MOU with the federal government and 5 oil sands producers to advance the Pathways carbon capture project. The Pathways project is a condition for the West Coast oil sands pipeline. The Memorandum of Understanding says Pathways would proceed in stages with infrastructure in service by 2032. The alliance estimates the project could store about 6 million tons of carbon captured per year by the mid-2030s. Alberta's pipeline proposal and questions around national unity drew plenty of politicians to this year's Calgary Stampede. Prime Minister Mark Carney used the greatest outdoor show on earth to speak to as many people as he could, including us, on Sunday in an exclusive CTV Calgary one-on-one. Well, Prime Minister Carney, thank you for making time for us.
Thanks very much for having me, Tara.
Well, you have walked the Midway, you have gone to the rodeo, you flipped some pancakes.
Yes.
How are you enjoying your full Calgary Stampede experience?
It's a full, well, you can pack a lot in a few hours here, and it's been fantastic. Tons of energy, lots of positive energy, meeting Canadians from across the country. So many people coming here, people from around the world. It's fantastic, and it was a great show last night. Great start to the day today, and I'm just about to go through the agriculture barn, so I'm enjoying that in a second.
The last time you were in Calgary, Alberta was giving you its pipeline proposal for the Major Projects Office. Yep. That was a proposal that we had always been told was going to have a private proponent. It still doesn't have one. So, I mean, if industry is not jumping on board, tell me why this is a good investment for taxpayers.
Well, let me give a bit of context on the TMX pipeline, actually. So TMX pipeline costs about $35 billion, all in, all the capital costs for that. GDP is our economy is about $15-16 billion higher than that, because the oil price, the net back to producers is higher because we've got another customer, and obviously we're shipping more oil. So that as a whole gives a couple of things. It gives almost $5 billion in revenue to the Alberta government, royalties plus taxes. It gives over $2 billion of revenue to the federal government, plus we're getting over $1 billion of dividends there. So right now, I roll that up. We got $8 billion for provincial government, federal government, and the return on TMX. Obviously, there's a return to the producers as well. You know, that's a payback a little more than 4.5 years right there on TMX for the full 35, for the economy as a whole. And then when you look at the actual pipeline, you know, the equity return, the EBITDA is running about $3.5 billion. Again, on about 40% equity, $3.5 billion on 10 to 12 billion in investment makes sense. So let's flip. That's a long answer, probably than you wanted, but let's flip into the proposal which we've received 10 days ago from the Alberta government. You know, Pembina is in there for a slug. You know, it's early days and there's due diligence to do. We've got consultations, obviously, with First Nations. The proponent, didn't know at the time about our deal with British Columbia, which includes the accession of British Columbia, support for a southern route, preservation of environmental protections on the northern route, but British Columbia being there, options on the carbon market. So a lot of things move at the same time, and it'll move forward. But I tell you, I will say, as a former investor, as a former banker, that if I have a project that gives me payback for Canada, for Alberta, in 5 years, I'll take it. I'll take that any day. And also, it does another thing, which is that it makes us more independent. We're going to shift with this project, with TMX. We'll shift from going exporting 98% of our oil to the United States. Nothing wrong with that. But we will shift to about 66% of our oil to the United States. That's a big shift. Means a higher price for all our oil, means more options. And what it also does, Tara, and I see this in our discussions in Asia, as I'm sure Premier Smith does, people want to do more with Canada because we can do more with them. And that opens up other opportunities for Alberta and the country as a whole.
You had the opportunity to meet with some Alberta First Nations yesterday. What did you take away from that meeting?
Well, I took away several things. One, a real focus on the referendum, a very strong desire to stay in Canada and to build with Canada, a concern about some of the threats and others that have been made to some of the individuals. You know, people standing up for our country, people standing up for democratic rights, whatever side of the argument. This is Canada, the democracy. We do things properly and respect each other's opinions. So that's there. Secondly, a willingness to work in the right way with these types of proposals, with the federal government, with the provincial government, with private sector proponents, but to work as partners. And that's a key element of this. And, you know, the federal government, what's the federal government's role? Well, we're working with British Columbia. We're working with First Nations. We're working with the province of Alberta. We're working with the private sector. We are working with foreign buyers for, you know, the ultimate oil that comes from this. And in that case, we're opening up new opportunities. I'll give you one of the examples. Part of the discussions earlier this year, I mean, I'm going to go talk to some canola growers in a moment. Alberta, you know, almost 20% of our canola. And reopening the Chinese market. Part of what helped with that is the prospect of greater energy cooperation. So, you know, all of that coming together. I know you started with First Nations, but I think what comes out of it is how interconnected everything is and the role that we can all play in building this country stronger.
All of those efforts do not seem to be impacting the separatist movement in Alberta. They're working very hard to try to encourage Albertans to go out in the fall and vote for independence. What would you say to all Albertans right now about national unity?
Well, the first and foremost, you know, Canada works. It can work better, and it works better when people are engaged. Canada's worth fighting for. We're fighting for Canada and building up the country. We're stronger when we're together. We just talked about an example. There are many other examples of that. Look, I'll give another, which is we have access as Canadians, as Albertans, we have access to 1.5 billion people through free trade agreements. Those are between the Government of Canada and other countries. This year, we're on track to double that number. 3 billion people around the world, we will have access, Albertans will have access through these free trade agreements. We're going to rip all those up and try to rebuild those again. Look, it is a dangerous game here. I've seen it. You and I first met, I think, in the UK before they took a decision, which 10 years later, a ton of strife, 10% of GDP lost. 2/3 of the people would vote a different way, would want to be back part of the European Union, and they can't. So I take a very positive message. My job is to work to make Alberta stronger, to make Canada stronger. We're making real progress on that. Let's keep going. Canada, you know, I grew up in Alberta. Alberta, you know, build, not break. Lead, not leave. I mean, that's the Alberta I know. It's led the country, and with everything coming together at this time, where Canada's poised to help lead the world, Alberta leading Canada, that's what we need.
Prime Minister Carney, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Some golfers in BC came home with a story to tell, but they lost their golf clubs in the process. Stay with us. Our trending videos are next. Some patients at the Children's Hospital enjoyed getting outside today to meet some local soccer heroes. Players with Wild FC, Calgary's women's professional soccer team, took part in an informal kickabout session on the hospital lawn. It's part of the hospital's recreation-based summer camp program. For one Wild player, it was extra memorable because Grace Storty spent much of her childhood being treated at the hospital.
I spent 9 years, give or take, of my life here. I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when I got here. So spent a lot of time here. All the nurses, doctors here are super amazing. So it's really cool for me to be back. I haven't actually been back since. Obviously, it's a hard thing, but you know, driving in here, you're just reminded of everyone who really cares about these kids here. And I think this is just another testament. And I think from my team as well, it's just really exciting that we get to be here.
It means a lot. It's because I used to play soccer when I was a little girl, and I haven't really played soccer since, and it feels kind of good to just play with a bunch of professionals.
They are getting ready to host the Montreal Roses at McMahon Stadium on Friday night. Oh, I bet that was a great afternoon outside.
Yeah.
Well, you never really know what kind of hazards you'll face on a golf course. Check this out. A golfer captured video of a bear running off with a golf bag over the weekend. This happened at the Golden Eagle Golf Club in Pitt Meadows, that's east of Vancouver. Yeah, he took it, dragged it into the bushes, maybe looking for a safe place to check it out later, look for snacks. You do see another bear nearby.
Yep.
I don't know. They were either going off to play their own round of golf or there was something good in that bag.
Let me just borrow these for a little bit. Maybe practicing being a caddy.
Yeah.
You never know.
We do not know if the golfer got those clubs back. I'll look into that for you. A company of firefighters is going viral for their impromptu prancing partner in firefighting.
Trying to take us down an area that wasn't maybe quite as rocky, wasn't quite as slippery, maybe had better footing. So she was obviously a pro at her job.
He's talking about Goldie the goat. Colorado Springs firefighters were heading into a wildfire burn area when Goldie just appeared and, according to the fire department, helped lead the crew along a safer trail. While they worked the fire line, Goldie helped out by grazing on the dry brush near the blaze. That was very good of her. Social media users, as you might imagine, could not get enough of this goat. Goldie now has her own line of merchandise, and a portion of proceeds will go to a local firefighters association.
Oh, I love this.
What a personality.
Yeah, serious. Just loves to be part of it, basically.
Yeah. Happy to help. Happy to help.
Cute.
More than 360 kilograms of peanut butter has been spread all over the floor of a museum in the Netherlands.
It's an absurd artwork. It also questions what art is. It's funny.
Well, this piece is a tribute to Dutch artist Wim T. Schippers, who died last month. He first created the peanut butter floor back in 1969. It was part of his floor covering series, which also included floors covered with glass shards and salt. In case you were wondering, that much peanut butter could make around 15,000 peanut butter sandwiches.
There's something about this. I just feel uncomfortable for some reason.
Well, I'd rather accidentally step on the peanut butter floor than the glass shard floor.
That is a good point. I mean, art is subjective, and that's making me think.
Exactly. Another Chinese automaker is set to sell cars in Canada. It's part of the new EV deal negotiated earlier this year. Those details ahead in our business report.
Welcome back. Another beautiful evening in store for us here in Calgary. Looking through our Skywatch weather camera here, a lot of blue sky from this shot, green grass. We got more blue sky pointing just outside of our station here towards downtown. Temperature was very comfortable today too. We're at 25. Potentially getting up to 27, but 25 is still trending slightly above seasonal for this time in July. No record-breaking temperatures for us here in Alberta today. Different story if you have any loved ones or friends out east. It is cooking in that direction, but your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Action Furnace Fixed Right or its free shows. We will remain in double digits even tonight, dropping down to 13 degrees for your low, starting off the morning at 16 degrees, and then we'll pick it up to 26 degrees by tomorrow afternoon. Building cloud expected as we progress throughout Tuesday as well. Here's a look at all those heat warnings again to the east of us, impacting Manitoba, Ontario, and parts of Quebec, as there's this pretty powerful heat dome set up over that part of the country right now. The dividing line is what we're seeing here. This is kind of the jet stream positioned separating two air masses. So we're not expecting to see a lot of that heat move towards us here in Alberta, but some precipitation and building cloud will start to drift into Alberta as we get into Wednesday, and by Thursday clearing up nicely. The next 10 days here, when we look at that, trend shows will remain above seasonal from today straight through till Thursday of next week.
Thank you, Gina. More than a dozen freight train cars are off the tracks and in a body of water in southwest Calgary. The derailment happened alongside the Pritis Slough this morning near McLeod Trail and Stony Trail. No one was hurt, and the fire department says there are no spills. Family has identified the 7-year-old girl who drowned in a stormwater pond in Legacy yesterday as Driana Matamona. Driana was autistic and nonverbal and wandered away from her home. And we have an update from police on a shooting outside the Red Room Lounge nightclub in the East Village early this morning. Investigators say a woman in her 20s was unintentionally caught in the crossfire when an altercation broke out between two men. A bullet grazed the woman and she remains in hospital tonight. Another Chinese car manufacturer is looking at selling electric vehicles in Canada. BNN Bloomberg's Marla Fernandez explains.
Dongfeng is a state-owned car maker. It is in the process of certifying its cars in Canada. The company wants to bring 2 of its models to this country by next year. It is one of several Chinese companies trying to break into the market after the Prime Minister decided to allow up to 49,000 Chinese-made EVs to be sold here at a lower tariff rate. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar really hasn't changed. It's at 70.64 US. West Texas Intermediate up over $6 to 78.14. Western Canadian Select is down to 57.03, and the TSX lost 52 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Premier Daniel Smith says her government has heard the thousands of Albertans who are having trouble applying for the new energy rebate. In order for Albertans to receive the $100 energy rebate, they must register. There are concerns with how much private information is needed to verify your identity and how cumbersome the process is. On her radio call-in show Saturday, Smith said she knows there are problems, but says this process has also prevented fraudulent rebate claims. She says the province is making this rebate available until September 30th. A tough lesson on the importance of staying well away from wildlife. A bison sends a man head over heels in a U.S. park. That story is next. A frightening incident at Yellowstone National Park. A bison charged directly at visitors, and it was all caught on camera. Camilla Bernal reports.
A terrifying encounter at Yellowstone National Park over the weekend.
Look out, a bison!
This bison barreling towards a man and his grandson and launching the 65-year-old into the air. Moments earlier, the two visitors stopped to take photos of the animal lying in the grass before it began rolling and then charging at a passing car. The park guests spotted running away from the animal, who proceeded to chase them through the trees. The bison catching up, sending the man flying several feet into the air.
It went from a little bit of amusing to watch to critical emergency.
Photographer Mike McLeod filmed the whole thing before running to help.
I stopped the video because I could see that bison was standing over him and he was pumping his head, very aggressive and agitated. And I knew that somebody had to distract that thing.
He says he and other campers ran at the bison, chasing it away and then tending to the man who he says was in a lot of pain. The man's family telling NBC News he underwent surgery and remains at the hospital. The park says visitors should stay at least 25 yards away from all large animals. But the photographer who captured it all said the campers appeared to be doing everything right.
What are your thoughts when you watch that video?
They were doing everything right. They were respectful. And once the bison showed any agitation, they left. And they were just at the wrong time in the wrong place.
The 65-year-old man suffered a broken femur in 4 places and was also very bruised. He thanked the medical teams who helped him. All right, here's our peek at the final forecast, Gina. We're all going to sit calmly, not get in anybody's way, and enjoy the weather.
Yeah, exactly. Keep your distance, but a beautiful day out there. And for your weather window, brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. I mean, I think Ron found the place to be this afternoon. Elbow River, chilling in the grass. Water's still pretty cold, but stream levels have gone down, and I think we're going to see some of those boats back on the water here in short order with nice temperatures this week, trending in the mid-20s from now straight through till Thursday with relatively calm conditions. Wednesday, a little bit of building cloud and a chance for some showers, but looking like a nice mid-July week ahead of us, Tara, with really warm temperatures and a great time to be outdoors for sure.
A little bit of rain here and there to cool things down, but that's pretty perfect.
Freshen us up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. For breaking news anytime, don't forget you can always go to our website, ctvnewscalgary.ca. Thanks for your company.